Well, in the summer, I see a lot of walkers, but right now there's been a lot of cars parked on the road because they're all, you know, they start there.
Oh, that's from the other
This,
thing.
this,
You guys
this
did that.
is today's stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, so this is clarified, I don't have any questions, but I think that there was
You had a couple,
a couple issues.
and I assumed that, because of that you didn't, right, and I didn't have it documented as well. They should have
Right,
for the
that
roads,
was
so-
the reason I didn't
Okay.
vote, because I was unclear on a couple issues, nobody had
I
answers.
just wanna make sure I was
Yeah.
reflected, it was
Yeah.
reflected clearly.
Ziegler is
Ready to go?
Okay,
IE.
I'll call to order the regular meeting for the town of Exonia for the month of April. Roll call, please.
Brian Durkee,
Here.
Dave Kester,
Here.
Amy Renard. Here. Dan Rupdown,
Here.
Rick Ziegler.
Here.
Join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approve of the minutes for the March 9th, 2026, and March 17th, 2026 meetings.
I misspelled Rick's name, last name,
You misspelled it?
yeah.
I think there was a few questions that I had when you weren't here, Joanne, on the checks, and they couldn't be answered with you being absent,
Okay,
and I never did get clarification.
okay.
So,
Do you have the questions now, or do you wanna come back or call me in the office?
yeah, I think I'll have to park that for now.
Okay.
Yeah, that, it was, the vote was 4-1, that's why it was 4-1.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well, I'll move approval of both sets of minutes from the March 9th meeting and the March 17th special meeting.
And I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion?
One last point, my name is repeatedly spelled wrong. Just a point of information.
I'll fix it.
That's on me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now you have it, Rick. Okay, hearing no discussion, all those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes, motion carries. Okay, public comment.
I have Peter Mark.
As most of you are aware, or hopefully all of you are aware, we did have our Easter egg hunt this past Saturday. The Park and Rec Committee did. We did have a little rain on the day, and so we had to have more of our activities inside rather than outside, but all the kids still had a very good time. It was well attended. We figure we had around 200 kids. You know, I was trying to count cats as you're herding cats, so it's was hard to say how many kids we had, but we feel it was around 200. Rick counted 100 cars in the parking lot, so we are assuming we had at least 2 kids in each car on average. I do want to thank the Exonia Volunteer Firemen's Department Association for providing us some funding for the candy, the crafts, and the face painter. I want to thank the Exonia Victory 4-H Club for stuffing the eggs, and the Oconomowoc School District for use of Exonia School, and the Park and Rec Board as a whole for organizing the event. And a special thank you to the Easter Bunny, Connor. He did have a good time being the Easter Bunny. He's a, I don't know, 14, 15-year-old kid, taller as all get out. I was worried the costume was gonna fit him, but so everyone had a good time, and we thank the board for your continued support of the Park and Rec Department.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yep, and I have Tom Seidel.
Good evening. I just want to express my concern about the septic situation and the possible Dollar General. I pay $1,800 a year to flush my toilet. We don't shit that much at our house. Our taxes are the highest I've ever paid. I lived in a municipality of Pewaukee. I had full fire, full police, water, sewer. I paid $170 a quarter for sewer and water. So, and I get it, it's a new plant, but part of that was we're gonna expand growth. I see you have a thing on here for 59 lots, that's great. But a company wants to come in, a multi-million-dollar company. If it's $100 grand for them to hook up to the sewer, that's what you put out there and say, you wanna be here, this is what it's gonna cost you. I feel like you're making a backdoor deal, and all that does is it screws the citizens. We like the community, but we feel like we're being overtaxed to death living up here. It's just ridiculous. So I hope that you guys will consider that. Plus, I think the town taxes went up 12% last year. So I don't know what I'm getting for my 12%. And I can't state, but I just wanna let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Treasurer's report?
Well, Rick already did his questions earlier, so, yeah.
All right,
All my questions have been answered
window.
before this meeting, so everything's clear on my end. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
just a new one I haven't seen before.
I'm not quite sure what Wendell is.
Okay. All right.
Do you know what Wendell is?
That's, the company, Wendell Five Bugles.
Oh.
Who's doing the feasibility study.
Okay, so, yeah, it should have probably been put in there a little bit better. They're doing the feasibility study
Oh, okay.
for,
All right.
the fire department.
Okay, so that's what the Oliver thing is also? That's my
No,
next
Oliver
question.
is for the highway department.
Okay.
They're.
The highway department, yes, I mean, feasibility for the highway department.
Well, that feasibility is
Right.
already done. This is, they're planning the building.
Planning, okay.
Mhm.
I will comment on the checks that went out. There's been a large amount of check writing going out to United Liquid Waste Recycling. I guess they've been moving our sludge from the wastewater treatment plant. And this was due to the fact that during the winter time, when we had those couple cold spells, they couldn't remove it the normal way. So we're gonna have to watch that. Obviously, you can't control the weather, but some big bills in regard to that.
Compass Minerals, is that part of the study for both soil borings?
That's salt.
So,
Salt.
for the roads.
Any other comments?
Move to approve the March 2026 Treasurer's Financial Report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other comment? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries due to audit. Jefferson County Supervisor, Bruce.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody that did give me a support of confidence, and even though I had nobody running against me, 96 point some percent vote's pretty good, even for nobody running against me. And then I did have a few people that contacted me to ask me why I was running and why I wasn't opposed, so I don't know really what to answer that, but they did ask some very good questions as far as what we do on the county and everything else, so I was appreciative of that, because it makes me at least know that somebody is interested in what we do. And so, thank you very much for the votes that were there. April 2nd, made a trip to Madison. Michael Lucky, myself, Joan Fitzgerald, We Energies, Alliant Energies, people from Columbia County, people from Walworth County. We were at the signing of Act 163, which is the new bill for the LNG facility, and that all went through. Governor Evers signed it, and therefore we should be getting the full amount, both county and township, in '27. So, good thing for that. Should help budgets out somewhere along the line. And it was a very nice presentation and a very nice signing, and that, so. I did have a conversation with Kevin from Parks Department over the bike trail, and at some point this year, hopefully early summer, maybe July, the last of the blacktopping should be done on the bike trail from Highway F to Waukesha County. And Waukesha County is supposed to have their section done sometime there too, so then it will be a complete section all the way to Second Street, I think is where it ends up in Oconomowoc.
Yeah.
And that, so, the next thing Kevin would like to start working on is something for parking down here on Highway F. So, we're gonna have to see where that all fits into the program. And last of all, EMS work group. It's been an interesting committee. We've done a lot, going back and forth. What we have done is, we've come up with this map just to show the coverage areas of how it's covered and all the different services, and if you can see how the circles intertwine, the county is covered very well. The ambulance services have done very good on covering the area, because most of these circles are all in their territories, plus they overlap, so the mutual aid is good and everything, and that. So that way, there isn't much changing that needs to be done for that. A couple areas here, Cambridge EMS, we don't know where that's gonna wind up. That might go away because they're having problems there and everything, so time will tell on that. We've also been working on funding with the laws allowing the county to set up a separate fund for EMS services and doing it on the mill rates and that. Kind of interesting, we've got a chart here, and anybody who wants to talk to me after a while, I'll show you the chart. We've gone from 1/10 of a mill all the way up to 1 mill, which is the maximum we can go. 1/10 of a mill doesn't add much to the taxation. You go 5 or 0.5, well, they were getting up there that it's, people are gonna notice it. And of course, if we go to 1 mill, I'm sure we'd have a lot of people complaining, because it'll be a substantial hike on their tax bill. $300-400 for an average resident and that. So where we're gonna go with it, I don't know yet, but that would bring, if you went with the full mill, Ixonia would benefit by about probably $1 million on it. Stay at the 0.5 or the 0.4, Ixonia would be somewhere in the maybe 100,000 range and that, so it'll be interesting to see how it will work out. And nothing's set in stone with this yet, we're still hashing it over. It has to be presented to the county board. A lot of people on the county board might not go along with it or whatever. We're waiting for our programs to come back from the university. They end around the 5th of May, 6th of May, something like that. We had a capstone project that was being done by them. It should be interesting what the 3 individuals come up with, because they're into they're graduate students working towards their degree, and this is their project, and they're doing data analysis and everything. We met with them, talked with them, they've got their stuff to do. Interesting that 2 of the members of that group for the students are from Jefferson County, so it's not like don't know what Jefferson County is. So that's where we're going with it. And what might happen, I don't know yet. We're nowhere's close. We're hoping to give in May sometime, maybe give a presentation to the county board as far as where we're at. And we wanna do this after we get this information from the student groups that are working on this. So, I believe that's all I have for right now.
Got a question. With Governor Evers signing Act 163, does that now clarify that we are going to get our full reimbursement amounts here and out? No questions, no disputes, no discussions? Is that what?
That's what it's supposed to be. That
Okay.
we get the 550,000, the county gets 1.1 million.
Mhm.
Someday, if we ever become a village, we get the 1.1 million.
So if we change from being a town to a village, then that amount changes?
Yep, the flip-flops. The county would only get 550,000.
That's an interesting thought. Were you aware of that?
Yes,
Okay.
I've been aware of that, and I've talked to Stan, and there's a lot to becoming a village. And there's a lot of expense, and it's not just all that simple.
Well, it'd be $550,000 a year, times how many years for this LNG repayment program? I don't think it'd be that much.
Well, then you
I'm just saying.
talk to Stan, because
Okay.
I've already talked to Stan.
Mhm.
And the dollars you're talking about don't begin to cover what it would take to do this.
Okay, that seems odd.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I'm just
I'm saying, I already
discussing.
talked to Stan, and right now, there's no reason for us to become a village. And from what the way Stan has explained it, and, I mean, we'll take this up at a different time, but
Thank you for clarifying
Bruce,
that.
the student groups that are working on this, are those college student groups? Have they farmed it out to the colleges to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's through Universe Alliance. It's part of the university system.
Yep.
And that, we got a grant to fund this, for these groups to do this, so that's where the money is coming from to do this. It's like any, study on anything.
Yep.
There are very few freebies, so,
Yep.
this grant is, and it was a small community grant. It was handled, Waterloo actually is the treasurer of it, because the community that handles it can't be any bigger than 5,000 people, I believe it was.
Okay.
And Waterloo falls into that category, so they graciously said that they would handle that money for that. So that's how they're getting paid for this and everything, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
thanks, Bruce. Unfinished business. Consider and possible action on a request from Sean Overner and Silver Cycle Sports Events LLC to hold a Lake Country Triathlon on July 25th, 2026. This is something that they do every year.
Is Sean or anybody from,
Sean is here.
Silver Cycle here?
Sean Osborne, Silver Circle Sports Events, 1327 Wall Street, 4.1 miles from here. I'm also the president of Silver Circle Foundation, which is our nonprofit arm of our legal entity. It's the 11th year for Lake Country Tri, 10 years in Ixonia. Same as last year, nothing's changed. All the roads remain open. We hire sheriff's department and intersections. JCEC communications for other intersections. We notify residents 2 weeks in advance with postcards. That costs us about $3,000 to do, believe it or not. And then We have a resident website that indicates how residents can get in and out. In Exonia, it's not that big of a deal because all the roads are all open, and Oconomowoc, Wisconsin Avenue is closed. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So Wiley Road's the farthest west you'll go, correct?
I'm sorry?
Wiley Road's the farthest west that you go?
I believe so.
Okay, you're not coming up North Road at all? I didn't see it on here, but,
No, it's the exact same course as it was
Okay.
we switched last year,
okay.
but it's the same course.
Sean, somebody in the office said to me that you were looking to like get approval for like a 5-year,
So our agreement with the city of Oconomowoc was for 5 years, it expires in '29. We would like to align that in Exonia as well. But the reality is, if we do anything wrong, and we haven't in 17 years, you're gonna call me in here and cancel my permit anyway. So we would like to align it, it just gives us a little bit more flexibility and timing, as well as planning these events. This will be the only event in Wisconsin of its size. Next year, Ironman's pulling out, so I'm told, in Madison, so we'll be the only ones. We expect to sell out 1,100 people with 2,200 spectators on that day. And I have all the dates, I can get the clerk all the dates of where they are for the next 2 years, 3 years.
But this application is just for this year.
Yeah, because the current ordinance doesn't anticipate multi-year agreements.
Okay, good. Because there's just one date on.
Right.
right,
That's-
but you
that's
could
correct.
amend it if you would like.
Oh,
We were supposed to be here last week, but there was a typo
Last month.
last
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, lots of,
Thank you for approving a burrito biathlon the month before that.
We kinda like to see people here, and it's kinda nice to see you here. Sometimes people have this and don't show
You're
up.
just waiting for me to come here.
Glad you're here.
I'm happy to come back and folks want to see me every year.
well, Sean could always come back and we could discuss the multi-year.
Okay.
So you wanna align with Conwalk, right? So if you're till 29, did you rather just wait till then to do multi-year?
I'd rather sign an agreement today that goes through '29.
Okay,
Wow.
so
These
you're looking
ordinance
for
were
3
written,
more
they-
years.
They never anticipated guys like me.
Right.
We're in the business of doing this. They're anticipated the JC's doing a parade at some point, not
So then you'd be on track with the Conwalk.
Conwalk.
29, everybody be in the same.
Yeah, next step is the town of Oconomowoc, when they merge with the village.
Yeah.
Not Akachi, Lavella. And we're making progress on that as well.
So your goal would be to make this a 4-year contract and then fall in
Through
line with-
'29, we'd come back and
And then-
ask for
Okay.
another 5, which then I'd be 40 years old. For the 2030.
well, we've never had a problem with any part of your event at anything.
Nope.
We've never had a problem, and you've always been upfront.
We try to exceed expectations with
I-
our baseball.
I don't see a problem aligning with Oconomowoc and going to 29.
Do you want to amend the application then with the future dates?
I'd love to.
Do you-
We're still gonna be back here, because I'm not asking for a multi-year agreement, but for the burrito biathlon. We come back here every year for that one anyways.
Do we have to amend that?
Yeah, because there's only one date on
Right.
it now.
Right, I've got the original contract, so you can make it in your motion that you're approving the contract for 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029.
And for Oconomowoc, we still submit permit applications every year. So it still goes through the process, it just isn't a public hearing.
Again, Sean, how many years have you been doing this?
This is our 11th year.
11?
We moved it to Oconomowoc 10 years ago because of road construction.
Mhm.
And it's been there ever since.
Well,
I'll make that motion then, that we approve the application of Silver Circle Sports Events for Lake Country Triathlon 2026, 27, 28, and 29, with those dates to be supplied to our clerk.
So we just have to amend this,
Yeah.
correct?
Which I'm making a motion that.
Second.
Amend it, okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to, extend, Silver Circle Sports Events LLC to their triathlon from 26 through 29. Is there any other discussion?
Do you require any barricades?
We do not.
You have spotters in intersections.
We supply all the equipment,
Yep.
we're self-sufficient.
I was looking on the route, it really doesn't affect us here much.
No, because the roads remain open. It's really ski
Yeah.
slide that gets the most
Yeah.
traffic. And once they get north on ski slide, they're spread out so much. It's really Oconomowoc where it goes down.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Consider possible action regarding extending the service contract with Donahue through December 31st, 2026 in the amount of $10,000. That is for up at the wastewater treatment. We've had their service because of the startup of the new plant, and there's going to be some changes with a new operator coming as just retiring. So we feel this would be a good service to continue for at least one more year. Because this way, if the operator's up there and having some questions or problems, we can make a phone call, we can get assistance, they'll come out if need be.
Does not include extended site visit though, would it? I think we talked about this last week or last month. Extended site visits if.
It wouldn't be, they would come out if necessary, but it's not for them to run the plant for a week or 2 days or whatever.
Or just handhold, okay.
Yeah,
Basically on call then.
yeah, basically on call.
Okay.
Well, it says site visits are included,
Right, but
but
not,
I'm sure there's just like quick ones.
yeah, but not where they would, like if the operator went on vacation for a week, they wouldn't come in and run it.
How responsive is Donahue gonna be when we have a concern or an issue? Is it gonna be like, we'll get back to you in 4 days, or is it gonna be, yeah, we're gonna work on this right now and, we'll, get back to you in 2 hours, or whatever?
Well, we haven't had any problems with them. They're the ones who engineered and designed the plant. It's their, I would assume, it's in their best interest to see that this thing stays running in tip-top shape too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of their portfolio when, they want references for people, I mean, I can't believe that they would offer a contract and not, not stand behind it, Rick.
Well, I'm just thinking of the issue the first day that you became chairman here, there was a concern with, problems.
They were available. They had people on site. We had people on site. It was just a situation that basically nobody had ever seen anything like it, is how it was described.
Do they have maximum amount of hours in this, or it's unlimited?
The contract's right there. I didn't see any maximum or any limit. It just,
Saying, hey, we're at this point, we gotta charge you more. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't read anything like that in there.
On the document, it's part 3-A compensation. It says compensation for the services set forth in part 1 shall be increased $10,000. Is that just verbiage? That's just poor
Remember
verbiage?
that guy explained that to us, and that's verbiage.
Okay.
And then he said it's confusing,
Okay.
because I asked him if that was an additional
Well,
10,000.
That's how it's worded.
Yeah, I know, and he said no.
Okay.
And he would change it if we felt that we had to have it. But it's a one-time fee of $10,000.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, but I just.
Yeah, no, he
the verbiage
explained that
is-
when he was here, because
Yeah.
I asked that in that meeting.
Okay.
have a contract. Where does this $10,000 come in? Is it extra that we're getting, or have we already really paid for it and now,
No, we haven't paid for it, Rick.
okay?
It's a service that they're gonna, we had it for a year when the
Okay.
plant was built.
And that's over with now?
It's over with.
Okay,
Okay, so now it's, if you wanna extend it, you're more than welcome to. If you don't wanna, I imagine you can call and get a rate and they'll send someone out, like a service truck or a repairman or whatever, but this is, and with having a new plant operator, Jeff recommended it. I met with Donahue with the engineer to verify what everything was, and I feel with a new plant operator and with everything going down, it's money well spent. But
So have we utilized this service this year?
yes,
So we've been kinda, it's been free so far.
it was part of the plan,
Original,
original.
cause this contract runs January 1 through December 31st. We're in April, we're mid-April now, so is it pro rata? Or have they already provided the service and now we're just kind of executing the contract?
So it's wheels are in motion and we're trying to execute one, yeah.
I haven't received any bills from Donahue that, I guess most of them would be probably part of the, the Clean Water Fund program, so that's where they've been getting submitted. This, I don't think we've done any service yet off of this, this $10,000.
So I would say we go April to April, or we go pro rata on the 10. I don't know if we can.
I don't know,
I think their books, their year runs like,
January 1 to
January to
December.
yeah, January 1 to December. And I think that's how they're setting it up, because they don't carry over.
And they may not have billed us for work because we haven't agreed to this yet either.
But they assume we would be.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, that was my question. If we're already getting the services and we haven't paid for them yet,
right,
then
right. So I don't know if we've gotten, we haven't gotten a bill
They
yet.
haven't refused any trips out here.
Right, so they might just be waiting to bill us until this gets approved.
oh,
So is the 10,000 start after the billing or before the billing?
in lieu of the billing.
Okay. Could cut it different ways.
Started in January.
Say, hey, 10 doesn't cover what we just billed you for,
I don't know what those numbers would look like, but yeah, I mean, that, you could look at
I
them.
mean, granted, there had to be a tremendous amount of money, dollars exchanged with the plant and everything else, but, I mean, they've been right there and they've helped with everything.
They're gonna help the new operator.
And,
Yeah, no, I think it's
and I'm
important
sure
to
a
have-
new
Yeah,
operator's
that's,
gonna have some
I was
questions.
just trying to get,
absolutely.
I was just trying to get 4 more months out of them next
Yeah,
year.
oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, my assumption is it takes you 2 weeks to learn the system if you don't know anything about it.
Well,
Supposedly.
I guess the question is, do we want to extend it or don't we?
So I would, make a motion to move to extend the service contract with Donahue through December 31st, 2026, at a cost of $10,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. New business. Consider possible action regarding the request from Kramer LLC, care of David Werninger, to rezone from AT to R1 and create Autumn Ridge 2 subdivision with approximately 59 lots west of Woody Lane from parcel 012-0116-2134-034, owned by Richard D. and Karen J. Adams Trust.
Planning Commission did approve the rezone AT to the R1. There was a little bit of a mix-up with the preliminary plot maps. We've got that worked out. And that'll be reviewed on the 28th. Correct, Glenn?
Yes, it's going to the 28th.
Yeah. So, but this is just the rezone. We rezoned it to AT, what, about 4 or 5 months ago? This section, so
Yeah.
now we're just aligning it with what it's ultimately gonna be, and that is R1.
My question is on lot sizes, I guess, that's not here yet,
It's really not
No.
here, but
but that's gonna be,
David's
come
here
up.
and he can ask.
Yeah.
My understanding is to the properties to the west, which is this section 3, or I'm sorry, it's Ridge 2, are gonna mirror what's in the they wanna mirror, they wanna complement what's there currently. So lot size, design, architecture.
The problem I can see, when they start chopping lots into small sections, all of a sudden, people are gonna wanna put up a small shed or park a boat, then we got problems. I think lot size should be at least a half acre.
So right now, we're currently, it's not driven by lot size per se, it's, and Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's setbacks. It's where the setbacks are off the house, where you have it from the house to the lot lines. So
Yeah.
that's how they kinda drive.
It's gonna come down, later on, green spaces and so forth, so.
Pardon me?
I say it's gonna come on down the road as far as green spaces need to be in. I don't wanna see like a cul-de-sac, we're gonna chop, 2 small ones off there, hey, leave 1 big one, instead of trying to get.
Yeah, our ordinances kinda drive, based on the size of the facility or building that's on the site, kinda drives that a little bit, as to where the lot lines are.
I think people are willing to pay more for, of course they're gonna pay more for half an
And-
acre, but I mean, for the benefits.
And that's a great argument. I mean, I know, Conomowoc, the lot sizes have actually gone down from a 1/3 acre to and roughly from a 1/3 acre to a 1/4 acre.
Yeah, but that's,
And I'm not saying it's good or bad, I'm just saying that's what they're seeing. I don't disagree that a 1/3 is probably where I personally think it's the smallest size lot.
I wouldn't like to see anything less than a
The
third.
covenants drive a lot what happens in the subdivisions.
Yeah.
With parking boats and outbuildings and all that, their covenants, pretty much handle most of that.
Yeah, I think Danny's getting at like quality of life, green space,
Yeah,
quality of life.
absolutely.
no, I understand, but, right now, to mirror what's there, I mean, we have a lot of people seem happy.
And that's what, there wasn't a lot of concern about that. Again, the architecture, the composition of the homes, all very much mirroring what's currently there, size of lots.
Can
So
we have a
that's-
parking issue though? People saying, hey, somebody's parking out from the street because they can't park on the.
We ran into, there's a gentleman over in.
So, I mean,
Deer-
is it
Deer Trail.
exactly, we don't want, maybe we can make it bigger lot sizes and avoid that situation? That's what I'm trying to get at, is don't mirror something that may have some problems, let's make sure we do it right when we do another one.
So a lot of it is no overnight parking in the street. And then a lot of it, HOA covenants are they can do no 1 car outdoors, 2 cars, no boats outdoors, no trailers outdoors. So they do that, a lot of that internally to control that.
But we're not even talking about all that now.
We're not, that's
No.
that's
This is
deeper
just
deeper
about
than- that'll come in.
Zoning,
Yeah, that'll come in
so
next.
the plat review has to go through the county, then it goes through the
Preliminary,
plan commission.
preliminary, yeah.
It goes to the county, they'll have a big public hearing.
Yeah, we'll see that in May.
We'll
The
have people
preliminary
talk
plat
about
recommendation will
it.
come in May.
I like to
and
tell
We
everybody,
can hash that all out.
everybody comes in here with the houses, but they never come in with a landscape plan, and that's part of it.
Well,
It's kinda like an after effect, after the houses are
well, they
plotted.
should have
Which
that,
gives
though.
you an idea of where they're gonna put all these berms and stuff, and that makes a big difference where those lots go then. So,
County always asks for landscape plan.
Yeah, I don't, how specific a landscape, I guess, is what, maybe I'm missing something there.
And
Well,
they'll
we're
look
not,
at the-
we're getting way off track.
yeah, we're
I
getting
mean,
way out there, but I mean,
right
I just
now,
let everybody know,
we're
just
talking
make sure
about,
they come with it right away. so we don't go
change
and
the
ask for it
zoning.
again.
Yep, again, it's a AT to R1, it's been approved by the planning, they've given their blessing and recommending approval, to the town board.
So what is the official name of this subdivision on the plat review? It calls it Autumn Ridge 3. On these preliminary site plans, it calls it Autumn Ridge 4.
No,
And
two-
then
2
there
and
was
3, it's just, I think it's just,
some reference to Autumn Ridge 2 in some of this. Is it 3 or 4?
well, you've got two going in Autumn Ridge. You've got Luce Homes is proposing one, and Newman's proposing another
well,
one.
that's
I know,
north. Yeah.
they're calling that Autumn Ridge North.
Yeah.
So what's this Oh, I guess
Or-
This is west.
David,
they
you
can
wanna-
call it whatever they
Right now,
want.
it's,
I understood this according to the original plat of the Autumn Ridge development from way back when, would be the fourth phase.
Really?
I may be incorrect about that. This parcel was part of Autumn Ridge two and has been part of
Right.
Autumn Ridge two.
Just not developed.
But it was
well,
planned to be the fourth. We're open to 2, 4. I don't
Yeah,
wanna
it
confuse
doesn't-
anybody.
no.
I thought,
I just want to make sure we're all talking about the right thing.
Agreed.
So on, the legal description says outlot 21 of Autumn Ridge 2, which is probably right.
that is correct.
And then, but this would be called something different.
Correct.
Yeah, so you could call it 3 or 4, whatever. Okay. And this is gonna come to the Plan Commission when? End of May?
28th of April will
April.
come,
Oh, April, okay.
and then the recommendation will be forthcoming to the board on the May meeting.
Okay. It's already at the county. Because these are county applications.
County hasn't seen it yet.
Huh?
County has seen it, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can come in with a bigger sheet when you guys come in, that's helpful. Some of these are, you can see the lot, but you're really struggling to see the square footage because it's smeared in, it's so small, so.
Understood. You can do that.
Well, I will make a motion then to approve the rezoning of this parcel number here from egg transition to residential 1 and create Autumn Ridge, it says 2. You probably don't want it to say 2, do you? Create Autumn Ridge 3?
Outlot 21, correct?
You reference the parcel number,
Yeah, okay, whatever.
probably your best bet.
Autumn Ridge 2 or 3 or 4. With approximately 59 lots west of Woody Lane, owned by Richard D. and Karen J. Adams Trust.
So just for clarification in my mind, and I see what Amy's talking about, subdivision name, Autumn Ridge 3.
We have a motion on the floor. Can we have a second?
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah. What is the official name gonna be here? You know?
We referenced the plot number,
Yeah,
the
I'd
parcel
say,
number.
As zoning change, we would reference the parcel number.
Right.
When we submit the plat, we will have the name. I will confirm that. What I don't wanna be is a phase 2 if there's a phase 2, a phase 3 if there's a phase 3.
All right.
I believe it should be 4, but I will confirm that before.
It says 2 on the front, 3 on the back.
And 4 on the drawings.
So, we're
Okay.
just going to clarify
But
that.
my motion includes the parcel number.
Good.
So we know what piece of land we're talking about. You can call it Paradise Inn.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? And just for clarification on the motion, it's parcel 012-0816-2134-034. So, hearing no more discussion, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider impossible action on 2026 road project bids.
So we've gotten our bids back in for, the road paving, and I'll talk a little bit about the seal coating too. When we went into bids, we were going for a, total budget of $6,100, or $6,000, $618,000. The road bids total with the road work and the seal coating came back in at $587,337.82. So they came in under what we predicted for our budget. This includes the paving of Marietta Avenue from 16 to Swansea Drive, River Street from County E to the terminus by the river, and North Avenue and the Fire and Highway Department parking lot. Oh, and a mill and overlay on Winterberry Lane and Preserve Park Drive. That is the first bid from Cartechner for the $454,137.82. And Robert, if you have any questions on what we'd be doing, Robert's here to answer any questions for that as well.
I can expand, before there are any questions, I can expand on a little bit more detail of what each road, what we're doing. On Marietta and on River Street, we're gonna be doing a pulverized overlay. On the existing highway facility, in North Street, we'll be doing the same thing, but because of fixed buildings around, and a lot of constraints, we're going to be matching existing elevations, so there will be a required removal of the pulverized material just to maintain drainage. There's also a little bit of concrete work that, we figured now is the best time to take care of that, most cost-efficient time to do that. And then on Winterberry Lane and Preserve Park, as Ben mentioned, a mill and overlay, so we're gonna mill off 1 3/4 inches and pave back 1 3/4 inches, as well as address any defective curb and gutter and storm sewer inlets and manholes in those streets. So the 4 bids that we did receive, Carteshner Brothers was the low bidder at $454,137.82. And then in ascending order, Stark Pavement Corp., Wolf Paving, and Payne and Dolan rounded out the remaining bidders. In my opinion, the bids were submitted in good faith and competitively, so the recommendation is to award the paving program to Carteshner Brothers.
The question I have is around the department, is there any soft spots around, like the department that need to be dug out and
We
put
anticipate there
bigger?
we don't know
That's what
exact.
creates these potholes. And
Yeah, we anticipate there will be. We don't know the exact extents and size of those and depths. So agencies, we have provisions in place to address those fill areas.
Okay, but that's included in these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Digging out and
Correct.
putting good stuff in, okay. Are they gonna be putting any fabric in there at all, or?
We don't anticipate that for a rehab type approach.
Any
We have
grid
to-
or anything like that in
I'm
some of
sorry?
those areas? Any grid in some of those areas?
There have been situations where we have had to do that. Based on engineering judgment, it's not anticipated that we would need to. If it is necessary, we would address that at the time with the contractor.
A lot of those soft spots have to be done in lifts, 1 foot.
Correct.
And then
Yep,
keep compacting.
yep, we specify 8 inches maximum for them compact.
Okay. Questions I have?
Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we select Cartechner, is that how you say that?
Carteshner Brothers.
Cartechner.
Cartechner Brothers for the total amount of $454,137.82 for the work bidded out on sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, as described in this letter.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. C, considering possible action on 2026 seal coating project.
As discussed before, in lines with the budget total that we had, it's looking at chip seal coat on River Valley Road from Rock River Road to Gopher Hill, Highview Road, the complete road, Fox Road from Gopher Hill to for 4,000 feet, Triangle Road, and Linden and Birch. These roads are, they were paved 5 years ago. There's our seal coating plan to come back in and pave them after being paved 5 years. Refreshes the road and helps them last longer. Linden and Birch are due for a new seal coat. They have, I don't know when the last time they were paved. paved, but they were seal coated, it's time to re-seal coat them, they're in the industrial park.
And I recall conversations about, avoiding the slag, the bituminous slag.
Yeah, that's what this recommended, this alternate is the chip seal coating, it's crushed granite.
Okay.
The next two would be the slag. Bottom ash. The granite is, the bigger chips are better, more of the asphalt adheres to the chips, and that's why it lasts longer.
Instead of pea gravel, right? Yeah, makes more sense.
Yep.
Doesn't wanna move. So we got Scott Construction, right? Is that what you recommend?
Scott Construction is the low bidder again, them and Farner are the two bidders. Scott Construction has been the low bidder for several years now in a row in the town. Again, prices submitted in good faith and competitive. So, there's a recommendation to award it to Scott Construction, alternates 1A and 1B, chip seal coat.
Robert, is the quality good?
It is, yeah, and to expand on the approach of chip seal coating to, the Paisley ratings are numbers 1 through 10 you assign to pavement, 1 being failed, 10 being new construction. The reason that we do the chip sealing is to extend the time at which pavement has a high rating. It doesn't add any extra strength, but it's watertight, and so it preserves that integrity. So, Ben could attest to the performance of it because he sees these roads, every day, and they hold up well for snow plowing.
Yep.
And for town roads, it's a very common practice to incorporate chip seal coating. It's becoming bigger and bigger statewide at the town level.
Sooner the better. The longer you wait, the worse, then you end up repaving everything.
Then the approaches get more costly to
Right.
repair.
The sooner you can get a seal coat on the roads, the better. And it's not saying that they're not gonna, you still have to continue maintenance, but it actually helps the road last a lot longer.
Absolutely.
Move to approve the 2026 seal coating project contract with Scott Construction in the amount of $133,200.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider possible action to apply for local small structure improvement program, LSSIP, for T-Bar Lane. Ben,
Yeah, I'll start off and then Robert will explain a little more. So this is for T-Bar Lane, we had a road, we had to do a small culvert program that the state put out. We had to identify all the small culverts. T-Bar Lane got identified as one, it's rated a 3, and so it's very poor rated. There's only services one house, but, it needs to be replaced so that we can take the weight limits off. And this is to apply for the state funding that has been now released, so that we can move forward and help fix this.
Yep, so, to expand a little bit more, the, Local Small Structures Improvement Program, or LISIP for short. It is the newest local program that the state had rolled out. The current state funding cycle, $30 million got approved statewide, from the legislature to address replacement of what we're calling these small structures, and we define that as, ranging between 6 and 20 feet span. A bridge is anything more than 20 feet, span length. And the state has recurring programs, the local bridge program that addresses those structures, but up until now, the state did not have a program to address any structures between 6 and 20 feet, which T-Bar, I believe it's just under 15 feet in span. And so in the last 3 or so years, statewide, all structures, there are well over 10,000 structures statewide locally, so not owned by counties, not owned by the state, that were in this program. So they inspected all of them. So the inventory and the inspections are all done. And so they rolled out this new program. The lower the rated structures are given a higher priority. The state has stated that they are guaranteeing money for the structures rated between 0 and 2. And then after that, if there's any money left over, they're going to prioritize at least one structure per county that doesn't currently have an awarded structure for funding. It was also made aware to us that the structure on T-Bar Lane happens to be the lowest rated structure in Jefferson County. So it doesn't guarantee funding, but if there is money left over and the state does try to allocate it to every county, we would certainly think that the T-Bar Lane structure would be, on that list. In terms of other details of the program, the state will offer up to a 90% cost share. So at most, the state would guarantee a 90% reimbursement, and then the town would be responsible for the other 10%. It could be less. It's up to the state's discretion and how much money they have left over to fund all the other structures that they're going to select. The estimated cost that I guess is in front of you today of $329,100 is the estimated cost that we've developed for all-in construction and engineering. So that's going to be the basis of the estimate that we submit on the application. The application for this program is due May 1st at 5 p.m. So that's what we're seeking is approval to submit the application on that basis.
So what are you gonna do, build a bridge there, or are you gonna put culverts, or what's your?
So we've done some preliminary engineering study work there to look at hydraulics, and our recommendation is the most cost-effective approach is a single span conspan aluminum box culvert. Most cost-effective, given the situation in the area. It's a dead-end road. The load ratings are sufficient for that application.
This says 12 feet, correct?
This one would be, I think our design would be 16 feet.
16 feet, but you said the criteria was from 12 to?
Between 6 and 20 is the
6 and
criteria.
20, okay.
Anything more than that is considered a bridge.
Yeah.
These are technically not considered.
So you're looking at basically a low-profile industrial culvert, actually, not a, move one.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And it's currently rated a 2 or 3.
3.
What's the weight
And the
load
state's
loaded on
program will
right?
pick up 1s and 2s, all of them.
0, 1, and 2, they have stated on their guidance and their webinars that they will guarantee funding for those. And then whatever's left over, see where it falls.
What's the weight load on that culvert, do you know?
Currently? Or what we put on?
I mean, is there bigger equipment going across that, or just the resident?
What was designed, it'll be weight rating, there won't be any weight limit on the bridge.
Okay,
But currently, we have an 8-ton weight limit on it.
8 ton, okay.
So the way this is, we're just approving the application
Yeah,
process.
we just wanted to make
So,
sure if we're gonna go out for application.
based on that, I would make a motion to approve the, moving forward with the application process for a local small structure improvement, the LSSIP for T-Bar Lane.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Okay, considering possible action on special event license for Andrew Burdette, sponsored by Exonia Bank, a Butylet Service LLC, and Brewfinity Beer Gardens fundraiser on May 27th, 2026, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Got my address and everything.
Yes.
Andrew Bodett, N 8641 Cusisford Road. This kind of simply boils down to it's 3 local businesses just trying to do a fundraiser for the benefit of the township. Obviously, I'm coming to you as a citizen today instead of an employee. The fundraising group's busy. I mean, as full-time staff, we're busy. This is just, a project that we've kind of been kicking around. I mean, I've heard it with the Parks Department that people have wanted to see it for a long time, and just the timing kind of worked. When we looked into it with the playground fundraising group, it just, there's so many rules, and some of the stuff we, as a township, really couldn't apply for, so instead of trying to make it harder for us, I partnered with Michelle at Exonia Bank to do a fundraiser on our own that just, the town doesn't need to do anything, we're taking care of all of it. We just, I wanted to fill out the special event license because, I mean, technically we're trying to raise money, so I just wanted to make sure all the Ts were crossed and the Is were dotted, so to speak.
Those two caring organizations would then donate the proceeds to the, and avoid all the red tape.
Well, we're hoping, I mean, it's gonna be a success, we're gonna knock it out of the park. But the hope is just, instead of putting extra burden on both the fundraising staff and town staff, it's just, we'll just cut out the middleman, we'll do it ourselves, and
Where is it gonna be held?
right here in the fireman. So we were hoping to do it, the bank looked up, studies have shown that Thursdays typically are more successful, but the timing just didn't work for Brewfinity because they are the entity we need to do the alcohol sales, so.
Just a quick question, and I hope nothing of this ever happens, but if there's some accident and liability issues, who was the
We
covering?
have all the insurance covered.
Okay, who's the covering agent? You said we. Is it you, your
Yeah.
LLC? You have insurance for that? Okay,
We should be covered.
okay. I'm not expecting anything
No,
of that
no.
sort, but
We-
a
we've-
question.
We've been working on this for probably 2 months now, so I mean, I can't even tell you how many hours we've spent trying to get this all hashed out so it runs smooth.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Andrew, for your
Yeah.
work on this.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea too, and you're not, seeking any involvement of the Park and Rec Board in this
No,
at all?
I'm just taking, we're just literally, the goal is to make this as simple and as easy as possible.
Yeah,
That, I mean,
appreciate
all
it.
they have to do is if they wanna have a good time, show up. That's it. I don't need, we've got it all covered, we've got all the volunteers knocked out, there'll be a food truck there so that we don't have to deal with any of the making food on site. It'll be taken care of. It's just show up and have a good time.
Sounds
Simple and
great.
cut the red tape.
Yeah.
Are we able to get a percentage of the food?
That's a Michelle, she's better at the bargaining.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the special event license for Andrew Bodett, sponsored by Exonia Bank, A. Bodett Services LLC, and Brewfinity Beer Garden fundraiser on May 27, 2026, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consider possible action for bidding of decommissioning
No,
the,
you skipped one.
F.
oh. Okay, consider possible action on application for producer full service retail service application for Kellermeister Beverage LLC, Chad Osram, agent to sell fermented malt beverage for a one-day event on May 27th, 2026 at Fireman's Park.
So Brewfinity, this Chad, I don't know how you're gonna pronounce his last name, Ostrom. He is Kellermeister Beverages LLC. He's licensed through the state as a brewer. And this license is, this application that he submitted to us is required by the state for us to approve him to come in on, into the town and sell his malted
Here.
beverages.
For
his
that
beer.
one day.
For that one day, yep,
So is he part of Brewfinity?
yes.
Oh, okay. So it's still the same three.
Same as
company.
the,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, this is just required from him, and the state, you know, the state requires him to come to get permission from the board
Mm-hmm.
to be able to bring his
Truck.
with his beer here.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion to approve Kellermeister Beverage LLC, Chad Oster Agent to sell fermented beverages for one-day event, May 27th at Fireman's Park.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider possible action for bidding of decommissioning of the old wastewater treatment plant. That's typically the mountains.
Yeah, that's for decommissioning the old plant. They did get a letter back from the DNR that we got approved that we can, pilot and store it at the new site and let it, degrade there until it's safe to be used and it's inert.
And we did get an email, I don't know if it was Friday or this morning, from the DNR stating that what is left on the Clean Water Fund loan, which is just over $1 million, can be used to help pay for that, for that decommissioning expense.
Yeah, we're looking to get it out for bid because the clean water, they want us to use the clean water fund loan up by the end of the year. So we'd like to get this project out to bid, so
Well, what's the estimated cost of doing this then? Is it
we don't,
under $1 million?
We don't have an exact estimated cost. I don't anticipate it to be $1 million. We just started working on this. We just got their approval last week. I would say that the reason we're here is to, in the interest of time for the bidding season for contractors, to be able to have the approval to go ahead and solicit for bids, is what we're seeking at this time.
if the bids would come in astronomical, we don't have to accept
Yeah.
that. So
Just a quick question for clarification. What kind of work is required to decommission it? Just make it simple, you know, not complex.
Right, so, at the old treatment plant, there's a lot of material. We estimate approximately 14,000 cubic yards of material. So the goal would be to excavate that, level it out, provide, sheet flow type drainage at the old treatment plant, bring that material over to use on the new treatment plant, either extend the berm and or, fill in some of the grade by River Valley Road.
Yeah, the DNR approving us to do this is very good because the only other option we were going to have is that all the material was going to have to be landfill. And we would have had to haul it all to
A site.
probably
Okay.
Johnson Creek.
So basically, we're just moving it and then recycling it at a new
Yeah.
location.
Yep.
So it's just a hauling charge
Yeah.
mostly.
And the material that's being moved over there, and again, this is getting ahead of getting a little bit outside of it, but what is the breakdown timeline on something like that, 5 years?
Usually, if the sand is, if it sits for 2 or 3 years, it becomes inert and then
Okay.
there's really nothing there.
So they don't have to sit and take it somewhere and let it break down. They're giving you the go-ahead to, hey, you can use it, we don't have to take it and let it
We
break.
can't use it for anything, we have to put it in a berm.
In a berm.
Yeah.
Okay. Stay away from water and whatnot. Yeah, okay.
Is there any possibility that there is contamination over there in that pile of stuff?
It's
that
all
we're-
been tested and it's come back.
Okay, alrighty, so it's clean or,
It would be biohazard as into a landfill though, in its current form,
Yeah.
yeah. This
Well,
gives us the ability to tear it out.
There was a landscaping plan for the new plant. And is this compatible with that? I mean, they were very conscious, I believe, of runoff and making sure water didn't get too close to the buildings and stuff.
It'll be, it's either going to be extending the berm that's along Highway 16 or on the berm that's just east of River Valley that runs north and south on the property.
that 14,000 is all both pits?
Yes.
Okay. What does that equate to in tons?
2 tons per cubic yard typically is the
Okay.
conversion, so, cubic yardage times 2, or divided by 2. Tons, yeah.
So 28 tons?
How many
Or 28,000 tons?
28,000.
And what kind of elevation of land is that gonna occur roughly, you know, the way it's spread out? 3 feet, 10 feet?
It's making the berms
I
tall.
understand that, but
It kind of depends on how much material is there. That's part of the design effort and the calculations we're gonna run through once our surveyor's out there this week. And so, once we kind of get our digital model, we'll be able to kind of design the extension of whatever existing berms, either the River Valley berm or the one that's by the tree line on Highway 16.
So you don't have an exact amount that's coming out of there yet, you're trying to figure that.
Our initial estimates were about 14,000 cubic yards.
14,000.
That could change slightly, plus minus a few
Right.
hundred cubic yards, depending on the survey.
I think getting this letter from the DNR is a huge windfall.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Huge windfall.
Oh, yeah.
So you wanna get the bids out as soon as possible?
That's the goal, yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the bidding of the decommissioning of the old wastewater treatment plant.
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consider possible action to approve contracting Donahue for assistance in completing the renewal application for the WPDES permit in the amount of $14,000.
This
This-
is our, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know a lot about it, but this is just a form that has to be filled out annually. And it has to be filled out, and it's more than what Jeff and anybody here has the ability to do.
Yeah.
And in the past, we've hired people to help with it. So it's nothing more than what we've done in the past.
And they have done this in the past, so they know what they're doing.
They filled out our original permit for the new plan,
Yeah.
so it's just a reapplication of.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve contracting with Donahue for assistance in completing the renewal application for the WPDES permit in the amount of $14,000.
second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Has there been discussions with them on trying, cause this is kinda like, we're gonna do this for you, it's at this cost, it's like this menu thing, and they know what we need overall.
Breakdown,
You know, and we're kinda getting, we'll do 10,000 over here, we'll do 14 over here.
pretty basic, yeah, I agree with you.
But you need
What
it
are we
all to
getting
be
for it?
done.
It's different services.
Yeah, it's a different,
Different divisions.
it's a whole different division.
Okay.
I've looked at that paper myself over at the wastewater treatment plant. The questions aren't like yes or no questions. They're very technical, and I don't even know if anybody here is capable of answering some of these questions. Certainly not myself, I know that much. So it's
You need experts.
Yeah, we,
yeah, you need somebody that knows what they're talking about
Right.
to fill this thing out.
And that's why we wanna hire them.
okay, any other discussion?
No doubt about that. Break it down.
Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion carries. Consider possible action to allow for posting a full-time firefighter / AMT position.
Yeah, I'm looking for approval to post, for the position that I used to have in the department. And that would bring us up to 3 full-time people during the weekdays.
So moved.
Second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Kelvin.
You're set, Calvin.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Calvin.
Yeah.
Can you get any more done that quick?
Let's see.
Consider possible action on fermented malt beverage retail license application for the Exonia Nights, DBA Exonia Nights, and 8345 Park Street. Daniel Henrik, agent.
Yeah, that, so it's the Knights Knights baseball team, they're getting their 6-month license
Yep.
to sell at the concession stand.
Like always.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I move that we, grant a fermented malt beverage retail license for the, Exonia Knights, DBA Exonia Knights, Daniel Heinrich, agent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Staff updates. Joanne?
So we had the election last week. It was a long day. We were out of here by 11 o'clock. We had a couple, issues with, our numbers, which thankfully turned out to be, nothing very serious, and we were able to find our error and get it corrected. But, you know, getting to that point,
11 o'clock?
there's you're going through so you're reconciling the poll books, trying to figure out like if you have duplicates or something's missed or whatever, and it wasn't really even that, it was something completely different, so.
But the numbers really didn't change.
No, the numbers didn't change. Our numbers were 1,467 voters. It just, when you're looking at, everything at the end of the night, and you're trying to balance out, it didn't mesh. So you have to figure out where it is, and we, it took us a little longer to figure that out. So it was 11 o'clock when we finally got out of here, but, our numbers were transmitted over to the county with our new DS300 machines. It went so smooth, and we made the national news, NBC National News, on how fast.
It was like 8:20.
Yeah, it was good.
The numbers were.
The machines are working much faster, even, like, they're just even like printing the reports at the end of the night, and then even transmitting the totals over to the county. So, very pleased with all of that.
Yeah.
Still have our issues with the express votes, but I don't know if that'll change unless they get us new ones or something, but, we had the Badger book set up. There was a few people that, looked at it and inquired, but, it was a busy day, so there wasn't really a whole lot, to do with that. We do anticipate having those set up for the August election. We do also anticipate we will have training this summer, and we plan on doing kind of like a mock election this summer, and we're hoping to, do an open house, to the electorate and let them come in and, try it out and get familiar with it, so it's not a big, scary thing. Our voter turnout was 44%, so I was pleasantly surprised because our absentee voting was very slow. We only had 11% for in-person voting, so I was really shocked when our totals at the end of the day showed up at 44%, so good turnout. And Dave Kester and Tom Carey were the top 2 winners out of the 3 that were running. Peter Mark was the 3rd. So those were our results. Anything coming up that I have? I am attending some training Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be back late Thursday, back in the office on Friday morning. I'm on vacation May 1st through the 12th. And Dave Kester, being that he was reelected, was kind enough to offer to do the meeting minutes for me for that meeting, because I won't be here for that, so.
Uh-oh. Practice spelling Rick's last name.
Yeah, I will.
You're right.
If you got any questions, call me.
I will. That I will do.
Just so you know, Open Book is coming up, I believe it's next week. It's all by telephone, so there's gonna be nobody here for that. That's for the reassessment or market update for the year. And then border review is going to be May 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. So we will need to make sure we have a quorum here for that. And the annual meeting is next week, Tuesday, April 21st at 7 p.m.
We also have to have people, because you gotta go, 2 people have to go through that course every year.
Correct, yes.
So they'll have to have 2 people refresh.
Yep, so I will order that training, because they do that every year.
Yeah.
So I'll get that ordered, and then you guys can take it home and do it.
I still remember.
Yeah,
You doing?
But we still have to
Cut
go
you
through, we still have to go through it, Dan.
You still gotta listen to it. So that's all I have.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question of Joanne?
Not normally, but I'll let it for you, Vic.
Well, the only question I have is it quicker when somebody uses a pencil to vote, or is it quicker when they use the E?
Oh, are you talking about, like, are you talking about
To
the,
tabulate.
somebody using the old paper ballot versus using the express
Right,
vote?
Right.
This election probably was a little slower because you had, 5 different ballots to pick from. So I think that kinda is a little slower,
Okay.
but when you have a regular, just like one single ballot, it could probably be a pretty split even time.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Just for you, Vic.
Thank you, Chairman.
Is that it, John?
That's it?
Ben, Public Works?
Yeah, an update, you've seen on Facebook, we have been having some trouble with ATVs and trucks driving off the road, either area of Ski-Slide and Branch Road. We have placed some cameras in the area and have been able to get, one truck that was driving off, the destruction. ATVs are required to stay on the paved surface, so if you know of anyone who is driving them off-road, to let them know, so that, we don't ruin this privilege for everyone else. We're on, applications are due back for the utility operator position by April 30th. And then we will then begin the interview process. Interviews are going to be done by Joanne and myself, and I've also asked Dave Kester to sit on them as well. The plans for the DPW facility with Oliver Construction are going well. We have very good facility design, and we're at finalizing the details, and they should be ready to review, and the goal is for a meeting in June or July with the board. So you can see the progress. If anyone would like to see the progress that we have currently, I'd be happy to show anyone. Also, the roof, an update on the roofs, we will be submitting, I got the engineer report back that was done beginning of March, showing all the damage that was done. This was our own engineer that was hired by our roofing, ones you met, Mike from Mike Patrick Roofing. Much more honest about the damage that is done to the roof, so it will be submitted to the insurance company, and we should be hearing back from that soon. It has to be done by May 14th, I believe is the date. So I'm waiting for a couple more things back from them, and then we're going to submit that to the insurance. And hopefully we'll hear back from them soon.
And have we submitted the contracts for both those contracts to stand for review? Both with the initial group and then, the attorneys?
I think I gotta send Stan the initial one.
Okay,
The one from the attorney that he had, I did send off to.
okay, perfect. Yeah, I know that one's already executed, but I think he wants to take a look at it just the same. I think it was only a 1-pager anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't anything.
We'll do this.
Some rural companies dragging their feet, correct?
Huh?
Rural companies dragging their feet on this one?
Well, right now we have to wait, we're waiting to get all the information to send to them so that they
Okay.
can look at it, and once we send it to them, they have to do something.
Okay.
So that's all I have.
Okay, Calvin?
Yeah, March was another busy month for the fire department. We ran 33 calls, so that brings our year-to-date total, as of April 1st to 96 calls for the year. That's an increase over last year. We're currently projected at 389 calls for the whole year, so that would be an increase of almost 20 calls from last year, 8%, 8.6% increase in call volume. So, it's been busy.
Did you make this?
I did.
That's cool. Where you go from one end of the scale to like the other end, I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
Very good.
Last month there was nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
This
you could
month,
hardly
yeah.
read it, now it's like,
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Is that it?
Yep. We're good.
Okay. Closed session. You are hereby notified that the town board of the town of Exonia, following all regular business, will convene into closed session. To all those present, the purpose of the meeting and the fact that the board intends to convene in the closed session for the below delimited purpose upon motion duly made and seconded and acted upon by the majority of the members present as required under section 19.85.1 parentheses stats. The closed session will take place, which may be attended by a town board and staff. The purpose of the meeting is to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. Clerk treasurer would be one, and wastewater treatment plant operator another. Okay, Joanne,
Well, you need a motion.
Move to
Oh,
go to closed
yeah.
session.
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, motion carries. We
I
need
gotta do roll call.
Roll call.
roll call.
Yep. Dave Kester,
Yes.
Brian Durkee,
Yes.
Amy Rodnard,
Yes.
Dan Rupnow,
Yes.
and Rick Ziegler.
Yes.
Okay, and we will be going closed session.